Welcome back to Empires of the Undergrowth. We have just returned to our Formicarium after completing story level 1.1, New Home. Today, we will take a tour of the Formicarium itself. If you like what I'm doing, please hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing to the channel. You would not believe how much it encourages the almighty algorithm to take notice. Thank you for being here. Now let's get started.
How is the colony progressing?
The Queen is exhibiting interesting new behaviors. I believe the colony is beginning to adapt.
In order to access the surface, you will need to mark the surface tunnel to be excavated. To the very north of your Queen is the surface tunnel. Left-clicking this will mark it for excavation. Resources gained from levels will be dropped into your Formicarium on the surface. As I promised, we're going to take a little tour of the Formicarium. The Formicarium is basically the hub between story levels. So here's our little ants getting some food, but we haven't really dug anything out. So along the top here, we have the number of soldiers, which is 0 for us right now, the number of workers, and the number on the left is the number we have, the number on the right is the maximum ones. Then we have food and max food, and just like I showed you in the tutorial and in the 1.1 episodes, food is essentially the currency of this game, sort of. It's the currency we use to create new ants and brood spaces and so forth. The only other currency I'm aware of is the royal jelly, which we will use to upgrade our colony. And then in the Formicarium, we have the terrain currency. So in fact, the terrain and the royal jelly only exist in the Formicarium. And then population is, well, what it says is we have a maximum population of 100 and our current population is 7. This whole thing is, in case you didn't notice from one of the other 2 episodes, is actually a big box in which our Formicarium exists, where the scientists are housing us. And here's our Queen still, feeling festive. So up here on the left, we have 2 menus. We have the level selection and the adaptations menu. We'll come back to the adaptations menu in a second. This top level one we saw before, very, very briefly, before I started the 1.1 story level. So you'll see here there's the next story level will be 1.2 subjugation. And just like 1.1, it will take place in a completely different place from the Formicarium. Versus, or in contrast to these gateway missions, so we've got this and this and this, and there's a couple more off the screen here. These gateway missions open some kind of additional amount of experience or functionality or so forth, and these actually take place in the Formicarium. This is a challenge against how we have outfit our Formicarium. So we'll obviously get to that as soon as we're done with the 1.2 subjugation. When I've played this game before, I don't recall that I got very far past this first experiment. I found this board to be extremely challenging. And you'll notice, even though we have done the level 1.1 New Home, we can do it again. And we can do a challenge mode if we want. That will give us more rewards if we do it. You see this. We can do it again, we just don't get the first time bonus that we did for doing it that first time. So that's the story level select area. The thing that we need to do next is to excavate these stones here. So I just marked them for excavation so that we can get up to the surface level, and you'll see it appear as soon as those stones are cleared. So we've got our mini map for the Formicarium here. You can hear our workers clearing, and boom, now we have the surface. If we go look at the surface, well, you can see on here there's a bunch of stuff. The red is these grubs, and the brown is food. And of course, whoops, oh my gosh. And then here is the exit and entrance to our colony, or our, I don't know what it's called. Our hill? It's not a hill though, really. Anyway, so what we need to do though, we're getting this notice that our food stores are full. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to lay out some more food stores. So we're going to put that down right here in this space where the food is. And by the way, I'm not certain, given that we're obviously not going to be confronted by a gateway mission for a little while, or until we finish the 1.2 subjugation story mission, I'm not sure we really need to do much here in the Formicarium. But we will outfit it a little bit, if only so that you can see kind of how things work. So we added up these storage tiles, or so we added in these food storage tiles, and we're already full. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some room. Again, not certain we need to, but I figure it can't hurt. We're going to need to at some point. I'm going to make some room for a brood space. So I'm probably going to mess this up, but the idea is you're supposed to have, or you want to try to have rooms that are hexagonal shape in their entirety, so that you can get the maximum bonus for upgrade proximity. So you'll see in a minute. We're going to make this a brood space. The workers are doing their best here. Now, the only, as I mentioned when we were going over the resources, the only ants we can breed right now are workers. We can't do soldiers right now. But that's okay. We could use another set of workers, because right now we've got these 7 folks in the nest group, and we really want a separate group to go grab that food from up above. So we're going to drop down some brood hexes, and you'll notice it takes 20.
He's begun to lay new eggs.
Perfect. We will soon have a thriving colony.
So you can see it takes 20 food to place and 2 food to hatch. Those food storage areas also took some food to food to place. I think they're 5, but it doesn't matter. So now our brood are laid down, or our brood spaces are laid down, and you'll see that the workers will be carrying eggs over here. There's an egg right there, and then they will start to hatch. And that's what we're seeing here in this second group. 0 of 7 are hatched. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move them into pheromone group 1. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm pretty sure there's a hotkey for it, but I'm going to go over here to the surface, and I'm going to tell our pheromone group 1 to go and collect food. Then I'm going to go back down below. And I'm going to since we essentially have infinite food, I'm going to attempt to upgrade the food squares, or the food hexes, excuse me, food collection storage spaces. So, but I can't do that, I think, because what does it say? What does it say? Food storage chamber. Yeah, I can't upgrade it. Oh, because I'm hitting the wrong button. That makes it harder. So now I'm going to upgrade these. Yes, definitely using the wrong functionality, selecting the wrong tool makes things harder. So I am upgrading all of these food storage areas, and I'm just going to upgrade them as much as I can. So this one's now level 3. This one's going to be level 2. This one's going to be level 3. So over here, I didn't point it out, but we were at 170 before I started doing this upgrading. Now, with all of these upgraded as they are, and that's as much as we're going to be able to get, because these are not surrounded by 6 tiles, if I understand correctly. But let me select off of this. Now we're at 710, which is, you know, a tremendous amount of food. We can see now that there are, our food storage chamber size is 10. We've got 6 level 2 and 4 level 3. There is a way to see how much each tile lets you do, let's store, but I honestly don't know how to do that yet. So we'll figure that out together at some point. So meanwhile, if we want to do the same thing with our brood, we'll go in here, we'll go to upgrade, and watch what happens when I try, because these all have 6 of 6, which means we can upgrade. But it says you have not acquired the next upgrade for this tile type. And why haven't we done that? Because that is part of the adaptations. So the adaptations are, as it says here, Formica Eruptor Adaptations menu allows you to spend jelly on adding abilities and new species to your Eruptor colony. So let's go in here and take a quick look at the adaptations menu. So we've got 2 ants currently unlocked, and ultimately we can get 4 more. And for all I know, there are others that just don't show up yet. So this is our queen. We are the Formica Eruptor is the gene thief. That's the type of ant it is. So we can spend jelly to equip one of two ability slots on each ant. So for the queen, this left ability gives us the left ability slot gives us the choice of Royal Guard. Upon dropping to 75% health, spawn 14 Royal Guard. These are incredibly powerful ants near your queen that last for 60 seconds. Additionally, empty nurseries will receive eggs, and all eggs will hatch for free for 5 seconds. The cooldown is 300 seconds, also known as 5 minutes. The other option would be Royal Decree. That is, upon dropping to 75% health, our nurseries will spawn their own eggs, eggs will instantly hatch, and eggs will hatch for free for 20 seconds, giving us an unlimited army during this time. And it also has a cooldown of 5 minutes. And we can only pick one of these two, and it would cost 100 jelly. We only have 71, so we couldn't even select it if we wanted to right now. The other ability slot for the queen costs 50 jelly, so we could do this one if we wanted. This is the one option is Second Wind. Upon dropping to 75% health, restore our queen's health back to full and become invulnerable for 30 seconds. It has a 5-minute cooldown. Or Fierce Mother. Upon dropping to 75% health, confuse any enemy within a huge radius of the queen, covering almost the entirety of our underground for 10 seconds. And the cooldown on that is also 5 minutes. Now, as a point of reference, the confusion, when it says it's confuse any enemy, this was done to us by the full-grown Devil's Coach horses. When it sprayed that pink stuff on us, our ants would get confused, and I believe what that means is they just won't attack, and maybe they attack each other. I'm not really certain. This is our Gene 3 Forker, so they do the various jobs, it says here, including excavation, construction, egg carrying, and food gathering, and they have 2 ability slots just the same as the queen does. The 40 jelly slot allows us to do aggressive brood, which increases the attack damage by 3, making workers reasonable fighters, and efficient brood, this is our other option here, where workers are no longer slowed on nurseries. Additionally, increase movement speed by 40, food harvested from creatures by 10, and job completion speed by 2. And the other option, which is a 30 jelly option, is Nimble. While not in combat, attacks against the worker have a 60% chance of causing no damage, and enemies must be closer to see it. As soon as damage is caused, this creature enters combat, so it would lose that bonus, obviously, or that chance. Or defensive, cannot take more than 20 points of damage in a single attack and reduce incoming damage by 20%. Now, I don't know how much health they have, but the way I would read this is they can't be one shot to death. It's going to take at least 2 to kill one of these workers if they have the defensive ability set up. And so, we already have level 1. So what we're going to do here is we're going to spend 10 jelly to upgrade to level 2, which provides increased health, speed, and job completion speed. So we're going to do that. And then we'll go back and I'll show you, we'll be able to upgrade the brood tiles. The other thing that we're going to aim for, and this is why I'm not going to spend any more jelly right now, is we're going to aim for the black ant. This is a melee attacking Formica fusca, and it gains attack speed at level 3. It costs us 75 jelly. We now have 61. These we saw in both the tutorial and in mission 1.1 New Home. And you can see there in the little animation that they are fighting Devil's Coach horses, just like we did in our last mission. So we're gonna save up for that because I want dudes that can fight for when we have our gateway mission. Hopefully we'll get enough jelly to be able to do that, and they will be buff. So let's exit adaptations, and again, here we are at our brood tile for our workers, and now you'll see, because we upgraded it to level 2, we can upgrade. So there we go. We're gonna upgrade all of these because the only cost to doing this is food. And for all intents and purposes, because our pheromone group 1 is pulling in food, we have infinite food. So we're going to let them keep doing that. And we're just going to upgrade these as much as we can. So, okay, so now everybody's upgraded, and if I try, these are all level 2, and if I try to upgrade to level 3, it'll tell us we've not acquired the next tier for this tile type. Now let's go find out what it would cost to do that. So this is 15 jelly. So the question is, would this be helpful to do? And I don't see a reason to do it right now. Once we finish story mission 1.2 subjugation, and we are preparing for our gateway mission, then if we can activate our black ant warriors, and we don't want to spend whatever remaining jelly we have on giving them abilities, then it might make sense to do that, and then we can actually have workers that can be pretty defensive. Okay, so that is our Formicarium, our little Formicarium tour. In the next episode, we will do level 1.2 subjugation and see how that goes. And I'm expecting to maybe have to do it more than once because I'm not very good at video games. Thank you for being here. Likes and comments and suggestions are very welcome, and I hope you'll be here next time. Meanwhile, please remember to spay or neuter your pets, but not both.